I was born and raised in Sonoma and the town of, and this is a poem that is set there. I would like to say that there's a 1973 Ford LTD in this poem. I was born in 76, so no, it wasn't a new car at the time. The Russian River. In the 1973 Ford LTD, we took Highway 12 and headed to the wide Russian River. It was the summer of our final year of high school, and we were all so stoned that the world was perfectly defined by goodness and realness and the opposite of those. It was 98 degrees, and even with the windows open, it was hard to breathe. Outside of Guerneville, we found the party, beautiful bodies jumping off the cliffs into the deepest part, a raft of natural naked women floating like an old cigarette ad down the current. I was going to marry you. Hours into the afternoon, we swam up to each other and walked in the river. I remember thinking this was what life was, and what I had always wanted. Being pressed on a warm, flat rock, our wet imprint there, as if it would matter, saying, I am holding on, I am holding on. This poem, I worked with a woman for a long time in New York City named Jessica Yen, who was a wonderful friend and who died before she turned 32. She had cancer, and we worked for magazines. We worked for Brides and Modern Brides together, and then later GQ for a small short period of time before she died. And when I actually went to GQ, I took over her office and didn't know it, and someone told me, did you realize that you're in Jess's office? And it was this sort of wonderful and sad thing, but this is for her. Marketing life for those of us left. For Jess. Stuck in the answer of day, all we've got are these people to rely on, and trees, and the grasp of a river in the mind. High hillside of home, I'm waving from the cement center, can you see me? All the beautiful girls in the office are laughing, and I laugh along. And all of us good people, honest and clean, and what puts the mean in some of us? Sumptuous mountain, midnight milkweed, come to the valley of neon and no crying. I've got this big city in me, pretty on fire, pretty high-wired. It's been a year since Jess died. She said, I always knew it would come down to the pills and the applesauce. And the house is not haunted, nor the office. I wish they were, don't you? We were wilder before, see-through shirts and model boys and bouncers in hotel lobbies across the country. Who knew it would be hard to live to 32? A friend says the best way to love the world is to think of leaving. We're all in trouble, you know. Piles of empty stars we've tossed aside for the immediate kiss. Push me around a bit, shake my pockets. I store everything in my mouth. I'm going to make an apple out of plastic. I'm going to make a real star out of the apple, and then I'm going to sell it to you. I'm going to tell you it's the most important thing. I'm going to tell you I'm sorry. I'm going to crash on your communal couch of unwanted. Let's say bloom. Let's say we're a miracle of technology. It's harder not to say anything. It's all we've got. Say it. Pinch me. You're here, so am I, so there. I always think that Jess would appreciate a poem, that the poem that I dedicated to her is called So There, ends with So There. I think she would appreciate that. Two more. This poem is called The Same Thing. There's an awful story in the news. For days you cannot sleep. It's too hot, it's too cold, it's just a story in the news. Not another human, Not a whole country, not another animal, just a piece of paper. Then you feel a little better. You go to the train and wear your headphones and listen to a sad song that sounds familiar. You pass a store window and there's someone you don't know walking where you're walking. Heels, a summer dress, hair tied up too fancy for the week. The television says tomorrow night they will shed some light on hell. How far do we need to search for some bad thing? Hell is not beneath us, not a bargaining chip with your children. You come home on the train and you have bought gifts and tried to be decent. This is how your life will go. You know that, day after day. Awful acceptance, the soft life of your footprints. You start to think of the alternative. You shake your real shirt off in the hallway. Would it be the same if you were born in Mexico? Life, Cuba, Ireland, 1974. You miss everyone, even the people you read about today you didn't know, their faces on the brain as if on paper. You sit on the balcony, which is really a fire escape, but you call it the balcony because you make it sound better. You wear the slip your mother gave you 15 years ago. The weather is nice, California nice. You sing a little, you call your family, you think things aren't so bad. You say you love the world, so love the world. Maybe you don't even say it for yourself. Maybe you move your mouth like everyone moves their mouth. Maybe your mouth is the same mouth as everyone's, all trying to say the same thing. And I'll finish with one more poem. And this is a poem. People will come up and ask me afterwards if who the rat is in this poem. And I will just say that everybody has their own rat. To the busted among us. But everyone is busted a little. No consciousness of the breaking, just the history of a dirty footprint, even the easy stuff, the small conversations about our worth, to be an anonymous object, the innocuous heart, the smallest part of flesh. On Withers Avenue, a rat circled the bottom of a trash can, threw itself against the plastic green walls of its new world. I heard it. I removed the top, and then I put the top back on. Small, brilliant hole in the dark, let me out. Standing in my ridiculous human clothes, I argued with the rat. I asked him, "Are you a rabbit? Are you crazy? Are you responsible for the plague?" He didn't answer. He threw himself again. "Are you mean? Did you hurt your children? Did you hurt anyone?" I want to tell you that I let that rat out, that kindness overwhelmed the tough pout of people cleanliness. I want to tell you I put him in a shoebox and brought him to the country, fed him corn and taught him how to read. Ungettable parallel time, fathomless choices. I say to a stranger I am harmless, but the word doesn't seem right. I have been harmed, but I do not wish to do harm. But I could do harm. I am not without desire. I want to tell you that the rat moved in with me. We made a good living. But I tell you, I let him be. I think he might have managed to release himself. He was not harmless. He had intent, flirting with the world. He'll show up one day, long wandered in the weather. He just needed someone subversive to bend in real close and say, "You can wrestle all you want, you can reinvent the shout, but you got your rat self in there, now get your cunning rat self out." Thank you.